I'm Kelsey Potts, and this is my honors conversion assignment for ATTR255. For this assignment, I'm relating my experience working as a rehabilitation technician to the book Better that we read in class. So I currently work as a rehab tech at Ultimate Physical Therapy here in Terre Haute. As a rehab tech, it's basically my job to help the physical therapist in any way that I can. This means that I'm typically removing electric stimulation pads off of patients, cleaning up rooms after the patients leave, cleaning up the rehab room and equipment, etc. Due to the fact that I am working during COVID times, my job right now is a lot of cleaning and disinfecting. We want to make sure that the facility is as clean as possible to protect not only the patients but also the other workers and everyone who comes into our facility. So with that being said, the first part of the book that stood out to me was in the introduction when the two nurses stayed after so that their patient could get surgery because they didn't have enough people there to help. In my job, I find that sometimes I do have to stay over if a therapist is running overtime or if their patient isn't finished with therapy yet, I'll have to stay after and kind of help finish up. And then I actually find that a lot of the times I'm the last person to leave. So whenever the therapists leave, I'm sometimes the last person there. Sometimes I'll also stay after to get everything ready for the therapist for the next morning. I think that as a healthcare professional, it's important to realize that sometimes you do have to put in extra work to help your patients and your coworkers. Another section of the book that really stood out to me was the entire washing hands chapter. I find that when I'm at work, I wash my hands probably like 50 times a day. I wash my hands before and after touching each patient, after doing laundry, while cleaning equipment. I was really surprised when reading the chapter to see that such a large number of people get infections from hospitals from people not washing their hands. I do realize how much time it takes up. However, I feel like it's especially important in times like these that we're living in now to be doing those things and to be making sure that you're extra clean for your patients. The chapter Naked also stood out to me when thinking about my job, which that was a chapter about the protocol for undressing and privacy with your patients. And I remember when reading it, it was shocking to me that there is not a specific protocol for those type of things. And at my job, I'm not in the room with the physical therapist and the patient while they're performing the actual therapy. However, I have noticed some things, like typically the male therapist will leave their door open while the female therapist will close the door. If the patient does have to change clothes, they go to the bathroom to change rather than changing in the room. That's just something that I found that I see a lot at where I work. I think that it's important to have a set policy for what to do in certain types of situations to make sure that both the patient and the healthcare professional feel safe and feel like their privacy is being thought of. And then another section of the novel that I found interesting was when the author was talking about the ATTR score. This was a way to rank the condition of newborns, and this reminded me a lot of different skills used at work to assess if the patient is progressing or not. So the physical therapists use pain skills, mobility skills, and other things like that in order to see if their patient is improving or not. And I think that this is extremely important in healthcare. It's necessary to see if your patients are improving or not, because if they aren't, that would be an indication that you need to change up your therapy and change your treatment plan, because our end goal is to help the patient improve. So these skills could be used, like the ATTR scale, to see, or score, not skill, to see if your patients are improving. But overall, I really liked the book that we read in class, and I thought it was really beneficial to read as someone who does want to be a healthcare professional. And a lot of the ideas that we read in the book I found did relate to my job as a rehabilitation technician, and I saw a lot of overlap of what I was reading and what I was doing at the physical therapy clinic that I work at. And I could see where I'll probably relate to it even more when I have my actual job and when I'm out, hopefully working as a physician assistant. So yeah.